So, while I watched the live stream of the fabulous seamstress at the cottage live stream, I managed to sew this dress for a friend. God knows how many I've made so far. I think this is about the 8th that I've made. So yeah, quite enjoyed watching Katinka. Yeah, I always have fun with her. So yeah, one dress down, another one to go. So I might as well show you a few more things in my sewing room. This is an actual vintage Victorian corset cover that I bought for reference as part of my project. It's absolutely stunning. Looking at the V&A website, the style of this is similar to ones in their collections that they date to about 1875. I didn't actually think it was that old. Obviously underneath is one of the corsets that I've made. This beautiful caftan was gifted to me by a friend. Her and her mum lived in Africa when she was quite young for a couple of years, and that was one of the caftans her mum used to wear. This corset cover and petticoat are again vintage Victorian items that again I bought recently for reference. Just the detail on them is so beautiful. Looks like there's a monogram here. So I was saying to a friend, maybe this corset cover belonged to someone who was kind of wealthy, and apparently what they did is they would have their initials monogrammed onto them, so when they sent their laundry out to be cleaned, they made sure they got, the right pieces of clothing back. Quite love the petticoat. Love the detail. And you can see, probably the camera probably doesn't pick it up, but you can see where there's been another row of, ruffles or something that's been unpicked. And again, underneath is one of the corsets that I've made. A friend bought it from me, but she still hasn't come to pick it up yet. I might as well show it off while I'm here. If I can get the buttons off. Why are buttons such a nightmare? So yeah. And my actual Victorian project is coming along quite well. So I've got everything. So here's my corset cover. First time I've done insertion lace. And obviously very inspired by this vintage corset cover. So here is the corset that I made for a friend. Again, completely recycled fabrics. I think it was a table runner. So yeah, bonnet all made by me. And a rather massive bow at the back. And my petticoat. Because I've added the pockets, the Victorian pockets that they made that were obviously not included in the clothing. Obviously I needed to put some openings in for you to be able to get your hand in through the petticoat to the pockets. Not thinking, I actually put them here, which were just, obviously the front is a front piece and a side front. So where I had to sew the spacing I put here, it looked really obvious, and because I'm so OCD, so I hand stitched all this trim to cover, and then at the side before I will move out of the way. We now have the opening for the pockets. The back, that's a bit. Let me move her out. Have a little look at my my rather messy desk at the same time. Why I never put anything away is beyond me. Drives me insane. Loads of alterations to do there. So I haven't quite finished sewing the final flounce on, but here at the back, this is all. So these are tucks. Each one of these are tucks that I've sewn this, hand sewn this trim onto. When it came to gathering the ruffle, as many times, I think I tried about 6 times. And this flounce I added that wasn't on the pattern, so trying to position it so it looked straight was a bit of a pain in the bum. But I got there in the end. So yeah, so the ruffle should obviously have been gathered, but it was an absolute nightmare. 11 times the gathering thread snapped, so I gave up in the end and pleated it. But there are pleated examples in museum collections, and to be honest, I'm not really keen on camera. They don't look that different colours, the 2 different trims, but this one is kind of darker than this one, and that was only put there because I used those heat markers so I could identify where I was going to sew the trim, and trying to iron the marker off, it just wouldn't come off, so it's still sort of, you can still see it, so I had to put this trim on to disguise it because it had to be at the very front. But yeah, it's coming along now. It's once I've finished the final flounce, sewing that on and getting it all straight, all the undergarments have been made, so I'll do a video in a couple of days to show you each layer of the undergarments. But I'm very proud of my corset cover, self-drafted. The bonnet in the end became self-drafted because the pattern I bought from Etsy, the panels didn't match at all, which was very frustrating. So yeah, I'm quite pleased with it. Now I've got to make the outer garment, the outer dress. Wish me luck. Cheers then. Bye.